The horror genre in film is stale, and it's old and it's dying. We both know it. I've probably known this from the top moment of me being scared in a film, which is, I have to say, it's probably me watching Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, when I was a kid. That's probably the purest, most scared I've been watching a horror movie. But that was probably when I was 9 years old, something like that. Come to think of it, I can only name a few horror films that really reached out and stuck to my chest, reached out and grabbed inside of me and wouldn't let go. Two really stand out. Requiem for a Dream, which really isn't a horror movie, but it is for me. And Paranormal Activity. Requiem for a Dream because of the reality of the danger in it, the fact that people really go through this shit every day. And Paranormal Activity because I was looking over my shoulder after watching that. Every time I washed the dishes for about a week, I'd creep around my house, like looking around the corner. It was terrible. I was scared. This week, I dig It Follows, a horror film written and directed by David Robert Mitchell. This is a big one. Before I tell you anything about this film, I'm going to ask you to not read a goddamn thing about it. Don't read the reviews. Don't look at pictures of it. Don't even read the show notes. If you have to, shut the video off right now. And leave. And go watch the fucking movie. Go watch it. And then come back. Before that, if you don't want to leave and you want me to convince you further, I'm just going to tell you how this movie made me feel. Because I went into this movie dry. Like I want you to. I knew nothing about it. I was told, go watch this. Watch it clean, not knowing anything about it. While I was sitting in this movie theater watching this film, it was me and a few friends and some other, like, two guys in the theater. Just empty in there. While I'm sitting here watching this movie, I had this eerie, hard lump in my chest. A physical pain in my body. Now, being a veteran movie watcher, this is a big deal for me. For a movie, moving pictures and sound to make me feel this way inside my body. This movie doesn't have many jump scares. And it doesn't get super loud and try and flash things in your face like all these other huge budget movies do. It's very slow and it's very nightmarish, dreamy, and it puts this violated feeling inside of you. Once the premise of this movie is offered up to you, once you understand, I'd say within the first 15, 20 minutes, you're going to understand the premise. Once you see that, you're going to be hooked. And I'm not even going to tell you what it's about, but this movie is a roller coaster, and as cliche as it sounds, it's going to grab you by the nuts, and it won't let go, and I was rolling around in my seat. I just felt awful watching this, which is great. It's great for a horror movie to make me feel this way. It is the best horror movie I've seen in years. I can't offhand think of any movie that's made me feel this way in a very long time. It is excellent. So that being said, before I talk about what actually happened in this movie and what it's about, I'm going to tell you, go ahead, shut this video off, watch the movie. Go watch it. It's out in major theaters right now. Your RT theater is probably playing it. So shut this video off right now. Pause it, whatever you need to do, go watch it, and come back. This video will be here. I'm not going anywhere. Go. I was serious about you guys watching the movie. But maybe you're lazy, and maybe you saw the movie. Anyway, we're going to get into this thing. Here's the premise of the film, just to recap. There's a monster in this film, a creature, which is different from most, if any, creature I've seen in a horror movie before. The premise is that there's a monster following you. It can only take the form of, as far as we know, people you love, some creepy old lady, or it may look like you. It's a slow, shambling monster, and it only walks. It doesn't run. Only you can see it. And all you know is that once it catches you, you're dead. The only way to sort of stave off this monster is to pass it on to someone else. You pass it on by having sex with someone. Once you have sex with someone, you may decide to tell them about the monster, which kind of increases your chances because then they're trying to pass it on. Or you could not tell them, which is, in my opinion, it's kind of dumb. But the catch is, it's going up a line of individuals. I don't know who the first person is, but if it kills you, it's going right back to the person who fucked you. This is a brilliant premise because from the outset, it gives the victim some power. It tells you exactly how to push the creature away from you for a bit, but it's temporary. It's not really enough. This premise is also using sex as this demonic token that you need to take or give to people. You'll notice that sex in this movie isn't sexy at all, and it's weaponized and it's very charged. It's as creepy as the monster following the main characters. This movie really doesn't let you go. It's squeezing you the whole time. The only difference is how hard it's squeezing you. The premise in this movie is an A from the outset. It would be a home run in anyone's hands. I think it would be really hard to fuck this up. But Mitchell knocks this out of the park, and I suspect it's because he and the crew were given a lot of creative freedom. This movie looks like something that Nicholas Winding Refn or Lars von Trier could have dreamed up. You get these slow, bleak shots that build up to these super tense moments that you can feel until the point where it just lets you go easily and it just squeezes you again. There's excellent acting. I had no trouble with any of the dialogue, the lines, the pacing. It was excellent. The music is also a huge component in this. Disasterpeace did a really good job. I'll post a link in the show notes for you to download this album, which I did too. The music that you hear in this video is from the It Follows Disasterpeace album. It accompanies this film perfectly. It's almost like this 16-bit video game type music from the SNES era, which makes sense because Disasterpeace has done music for a bunch of video games in the past. Which brings me to my next point, which is that the setting is very eerie in this movie, and it adds to this dreamlike quality because you'll notice that the TVs, it's all black and white. They're watching all these fat CRT TVs from like the 70s or the 80s, and the clothing is different. They're all driving retro cars. But then you get this one character with the glasses who's using this weird clamshell cell phone, and she's the only person who seems to have this advanced technology. And these weird touches add to the eeriness of this movie and just what makes it artsy and what makes it unique, in my opinion. It's just great. I love this film, and I'm probably going to watch it again soon. It has good replay value as well. It's great all around. If you like this movie, you should check out this comic book called Black Hole. It's contained in a graphic novel now because it's been done for years. Black Hole is by Charles Burns, and I kept thinking about this graphic novel while I was watching this movie because this idea of sex being weaponized and passing on this sort of eerie horror-like disease to people. It's about these teenagers who kind of they end up passing on this weird transformative illness that doesn't kill you. It just sort of makes you grow like tendrils and all this crazy shit. It's a really, really good comic. Charles Burns does these really, really meticulous ink line work. It's awesome. Check that out if you get the chance, and let me know if you read that. If you did watch It Follows, tell me what you thought of it, and I'm curious to know what your strategy would be to get rid of the monster, or if you just keep on running.